Yes, folks, hello, welcome. Chris here from Mod Extra Games and Collectibles. An absolute pleasure to have you with me here today on my channel. And this video today is part 2 of a series of videos that I am making on the subject of GI Joe Classified Series packaging Easter eggs. Lenny and his team just love cramming little Easter egg winks at the audience there, little acknowledgements towards the comic books and the cartoons, the source material that they're drawing inspiration from when it comes to creating their GI Joe Classified Series line. And I, for one, think it is super fun. I enjoy that aspect of collecting this line a great deal. Part 1 I produced back in June. I was knocking around the characters that were released around wave 13, wave 14. I lose track of the wave numbers. But Rock and Roll was in there. The Cobra Eels were in there. Who else? Tunnel Rat, Big Ben, Scrap Iron, the Range Viper, Lowlight. So I was around that ballpark. But of course, the release schedule has been relentless with GI Joe Classified Series since the summer. And we've had loads more figures come out and previews of some we've got on pre-order coming in the future. I've been poring over all the packaging artwork to pluck out little bits that resonate with me, and my little memory chamber is bringing to the forefront. So I'm going to walk you through some of the newer releases or some upcoming releases, point out some packaging Easter eggs in there, and maybe throw a few clips in and stuff so you can see it for realsies. Yeah, that's it. I've run out of intro stuff to say. Let's get into it. Let's get started then. I'm going to kick off with the Steel Core Troopers, the 2-pack that came out a couple of months ago. Although at this point, it already feels like a lifetime that releases that came out just a few months ago feel like they're super old already. But no, they've come out in the last 6 months, ladies and gents. And if we take a closer look at the packaging, you can see they're in a kind of aerial combat scene at Ellis Island there, with the Statue of Liberty in the background, a couple of trouble bubbles harassing them. And I believe that this is clearly a reference to the opening to the classic GI Joe, the movie.
Trouble over land and sea and air.
That is arguably a tenuous Easter egg link. I'm perhaps inspired by, because the Steel Core Troopers were not flying around with their jetpacks in that scene, in that opening intro scene with the wonderful Cobra song on it. It was all, you know, kind of main cast GI Joe characters that had the backpacks and all that kind of stuff on. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's clearly inspired by. So there you go. There's the Steel Series Core Easter egg. Just reviewing my notes on my iPad here, and next up we have Tiger Force Flint. And once again, if we zoom into the background, we can see conspicuously placed in this South American jungle scene with a Aztec or Mayan temple in the background, a red sports car. It's quite a modern looking red sports car, but I'm fairly certain that this is in reference to the red sports car that Flint was driving in the Sunbow episode, Flint's Vacation. Let's take a look.
Can I see you to your car?
Sure.
Are you gonna visit anyone on your vacation?
Yeah, my cousin and his family.
The ones who moved to that experimental housing development on the coast?
That's right. I want to see how real people live.
Do they know you're coming?
Nah, if I told them, they'd make a big production out of it. Well, see you later.
Bye.
So this was Sunbow Season 1, Episode 43 that this storyline featured in. As you can see from the clip, the sports car in the vid is a much more kind of classic 60s, 70s kind of, maybe a Jaguar by the looks of it, whereas the one on the packaging is much more contemporary. As Flint says in the clip there, he's off to go and visit his cousins in this new experimental community. But of course, all is not as it seems there in this experimental community, although I'll keep it spoiler free in case anyone's not seen it and goes and watches it. Which, just as a side note, a lot of the research and refreshing of my memory I've done for these videos is using Hasbro's own YouTube channel. They have a YouTube channel that just plows out, just constantly streams all of the classic GI Joe Sunbow era cartoons, just being streamed for free. Just there, ready for you to watch. So if you've not seen Flint's Vacation, go check it out. Find out what the mysterious thing is that's going on in that experimental community. But for now, I'll move on to the next one. Next up then, folks, let's have a look at Helix. And we've got this kind of suburban scene here with Helix hanging out by a house with a SWAT van in the background. At the time this was revealed, in the same wave as Shockwave, I remember reading some speculation that maybe the background packaging artwork on these two characters had been swapped, or, you know, it was a production error, and that Shockwave should have maybe been in front of the SWAT van and Helix should have been on the beach. But I don't believe that's the case, because in the Real American Hero from IDW Publishing, in the Real American Hero miniseries, The Silent Option, we get a 4-part storyline that dives a little bit deeper into Agent Helix's story, her lore, her background lore, and there's a whole narrative around a human trafficking operation, and I'll keep it spoiler free, but there's a section in chapter 4 where there's a big shootout that takes place in a suburban area just like this, in a house just like this, and at a certain point in that storyline, the police turn up in their SWAT vans, and I'm pretty certain, I'd put money down that this is in reference to that. So that is from The Silent Option, a Real American Hero miniseries from IDW Publishing, written by Larry Hammer, drawn by Neto Diaz, and yeah, there's clearly a scene in a suburban area with a SWAT van, and I'm quite sure that that's what that's in reference to. So there you go. All right, then, a twofer this time, because we're going to take a look at Buzzer and Ripper, the two Dreadnoks. I always mispronounce that. Dreadnoks that have been released of late, only in the last 2 months or so. For, well, I don't know, some people got them, some people haven't. The distribution on this is wacky, but yeah, twofer, because they are both clearly in band practice rooms, and they both also have a poster just over their shoulder on the window there that makes reference to a band called Cold Slither.
Everybody, action! We're Cold Slither, you'll be joining us soon. A band of vipers playing our tune.
So clearly, if you're going to be playing to that standard, you need somewhere to rehearse, you need somewhere to practice, and there you go, Buzzer and Ripper have got a band practice space to get Cold Slither up to the heady international rock and roll stardom heights that they're shooting for. Incidentally, there's also another little reference in there. You can see the cans of grape soda all strewn across the floor, obviously referencing the old line, grape soda and chocolate donuts. So yeah, lovely little touch there. The poster's actually quite hard to read, and the quality of the image I've chosen to zoom in on there isn't helping us out, but trust me, it does make reference to the band Cold Slither. All right, General Hawk next on the list then, folks, and here in the background we can see a scene at GI Joe headquarters with a triple T and a Cobra stun in the background, obviously getting people's hopes, dreams, excitements are lifted with the sight of the triple T and the stun there, because of course these are very popular vehicles from vintage GI Joe. But this scene that Hawk is fighting in here is in reference to Arise Serpentor Arise Part 1, in which Cobra launch an attack at GI Joe headquarters using stuns and the newly created bats to assault the base, and Sergeant Slaughter rocks up in his triple T. So let's have a quick peek at that, shall we?
Unidentified object on the left flank! Intercept and destroy!
Prepare for hand-to-hand combat, Joes.
Holy, what is that?
Cobra attack! Well, now things are going to get interesting. That's Sergeant Slaughter. He must have picked up Dial Tone's message.
Wow! General Hawk very actively involved in the battle there outside of GI Joe headquarters, as he is in the packaging artwork. So there's your little Easter egg reference there, folks. Okay, so there's a couple of figures that have been released, where I've clocked some Easter eggs in the packaging, but I've also been poring over the preview pictures for the pre-order characters that we've got at the moment, and I want to jump now onto Metalhead. So if you take a closer look at in the background there, if we zoom in, we can see that there is an exploding train behind Metalhead with what is clearly Naugahyde riding cowboy on the back of that exploding train. Now this directly references a scene from the DIC era cartoon Granny Dearest, in which Metalhead's grandmother comes to visit him and gets involved in some Cobra scheme to steal a big magnetic power turbine thing that can power battleships, or something like that. I don't know. They're moving it around on the back of a train, basically. And Metalhead, along with Naugahyde and his grandmother, attempt to steal the device. Let's take a quick look.
Happy highball, engineer! We're approaching industrial tankage. Better slow this train way down.
stogies!
So there you go. It's not a great episode. I rewatched it yesterday in preparation for this video. I was like, oh my God, the DIC era stuff is so campy and out there. I mean, the Sunbow stuff's like super out there too, but not like the DIC era. Well, it is kind of fun, the stuff with his grandmother there. She used to be a commander in a state guard or something. It's utterly ridiculous. So go watch Flint's Vacation, but maybe don't go watch that one. However, that's a double whammy of an Easter egg, because not only is it making reference to that scene in the Granny Dearest episode, but it's also teeing up the Norgahide release, because Norgahide was named as a name-only reveal in one of the streams, I think 1027 or PulseCon, I don't know, one of those two. Norgahide was revealed as a future release, so it's a double whammy Easter egg there, because it's not only the scene, but teeing up a new release. Okay, another upcoming release now, Airborne, and we can see in the background of Airborne's packaging artwork there that he is on Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, with the Easter Island statue heads, the Moai statues there, two of them in the background, and this is a direct reference to the episode Mind Menace, and again, a very specific scene takes place that involves these statues. Let's take a look.
Hey, Airborne! I hope you made out your will!
Oh, that's great, Flash. I like your positive attitude.
The Sunbow era, episode 22 from season 1. Airborne is a central key character in the Mind Menace episode. You can see there that Cobras, well, once again, their little nefarious scheming has produced a special device that makes statues come to life and want to eat GI Joes, and that's what happens in Mind Menace. You know, when you say it out aloud. But it's a fun episode. It's definitely a fun episode. Airborne's a key character, and that's obviously making reference to his appearance in that episode. So there you go. That's the Easter Island statues explained. Okay then, folks, last for this video, but by no means least, we have Quick Kick here. And we can see in the packaging artwork there that Quick Kick is in a kind of Arctic scene. He's got Storm Shadow hovering around in the background. There's a leopard seal on a little ice flow there. And this is a direct reference to Quick Kick's very first appearance in the Sunbow GI Joe cartoon. It's in the episode Chaos in the Sea of Lost Souls, which is the 4th part, I think the 3rd or the 4th part of the Pyramid of Darkness storyline there. This is right at the beginning of season 1, in the first 4 episodes of season 1, or even more. Is it 5 episodes? Oh, my memory just went blank. But yeah, it's a direct reference to that scene. Let's take a look.
The fools will capsize and the leopard seals will devour them anyway.
Stuck. And out of luck.
Row to shore! Look! Got a problem, Pilgrim?
And of course, in the packaging artwork, he's even got the nunchucks there ready to go. They feature very heavily in the scene. He uses the nunchucks to save Alpine and Bazooka from the hungry leopard seals. So there we are. Direct reference to that Sunbow episode there. And Quick Kick's first appearance in the cartoons. Well, folks, there we go. There's many more besides. There's this little lizard on the Python Patrol Copperhead packaging that was like scratching my head. It's probably really obvious reference from the cartoons or something. There's the crocodile behind the scene in Morton Junkyard, which I think may be Fiona, but I don't recall them encountering each other in the comics or in the cartoons. If anything, it might be a reference to when Morton Junkyard go to the Dreadnought's little hut in the Florida Everglades, perhaps. But I don't know, maybe I'm inviting you, anyway, getting to my point, I'm inviting you guys to let me know in the comments down below if there's any other Easter eggs you've clocked, or even just little things you think, is that relevant? Might that be relevant? Because I may know it from the recesses, the old filing cabinet in my brain, or from my recent research. I've rewatched the Sunbow cartoons twice in the last year for the video in June and this video today, so I might just be able to pull it out of my head. I've been rereading all the Real American Hero comic books too. So let me know if there's anything that catches your eye and is of interest that I've not mentioned today. And stick around, maybe in another 6 time, part 3 will come along when there's some more announcements, more figures to take a look at the packaging on. Otherwise, thank you very much for spending some time with me today. This video will be demonetized. I won't make any ad revenue on this video because of the clips that I've used today. So please do, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, take a moment to, at the very least, subscribe as a show of thanks and gratitude, because these take ages to edit, folks. I love doing it, but they do take ages to edit, but I will likely be demonetized. So please try and support the channel or use my affiliate links in the description down below. But yeah, otherwise, it'd be great to see you around these parts again sometime soon. So take it easy, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. All right, ta-ra, folks.